Hello and welcome to tonight's question time live stream. We are live and that means your chance to ask your questions is here. You can ask me any question you like regarding game dev, Unreal Engine, anything you really want at all. It's totally up to you, and the way you do that is you just put it into chat and I'll try and grab as many questions as I can during our live stream. So hello and welcome. Hopefully everyone is doing okay. So a little bit delayed getting things started. It took a little bit longer to get the kids to bed. But we'll crack on anyway. So start putting in your questions in the chat. Yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is I will be actually attending. Where is it? The WASD in London. It's an event in London. I'll be there. Let us know if you're going to be there. We'll meet up. We'll do a little meet up and go for a drink or something. So I'll be there 30th to the 1st. Let me know when you think you'll be there and I'll try and arrange some sort of meet up of some kind. I'll be there talking to people, talking to developers, giving advice to people if they want it, you know, those sort of things. So I'll be there. So if you're going to be in London, let us know. Okay, so let's get started into Unreal here. Okay, so let's go through first of all our question time queue jumps in our Discord for Patreon members. So if you're a Patreon member, you can get a question asked ahead of time. Just put it into the Discord queue jump. We'll answer as many as we can in there. So we've got a few things here. I'm trying to think where are we at. Triz V96. Hey Ryan, I'm trying to do a combo system for a game. Basically, after you kill an enemy, I want the combo timer to reset and add one to a combo multiplier. I think like Tony Hawk combo. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, let's do that. So what we're gonna do is gonna first of all make it so we can actually do something with a combo. So I'm just make it so I can kill something by walking into its area. Obviously you'd have a whole combat system. So I'll just do an actor, enemy field, and in here I'll just do a simple walk through to destroy it type thing. So when it wants to load up, anytime. There we go. I'm going to add a simple overlap field, so I'm not doing anything crazy. Oh, I'm being field for collision, because I keep saying field. Box collision, and we'll just make it nice and obvious. 10, and we'll make it not hidden in the game, so I can actually see what we're doing. And I'll just make this thing die. Okay, so add begin overlap. If the other actor is equal to the player character, we can put that in there, so, and do destroy actor. Okay, so let me just test this out so far. So this is just us killing these enemies. So there's one there, and we'll do another one up there and another one up there. So if I walk through these boxes, they should disappear. Okay, cool. So as for combo timer and meter stuff, where we store this is dependent on what you want to do. You've got a few options you can put it on. You can put it on the player character, you can put it on the player controller, or you can put it in the game mode. There's no real wrong answer here in this case, so it's totally up to you. I'm going to put it on the game mode, but it could be anywhere you want. So I'm going to go into the game mode, and I'm going to go to variables and do current combo, and that be an integer. And in here we are going to do also a combo timer. So hang on, let's actually get rid of that. Let's do a custom event on enemy killed. We'll do get current combo plus. Increment it by 1, so it increases it by 1, a value of 1. And then we'll do a timer. So we'll do set timer by event, and the event we're going to do is a custom event called on combo finish. And so the time for this combo meter, we'll just put in a hard time here, but this could also be variable based upon how big a combo is. So we'll do a combo of, I don't know, 1 second. I don't know. But promote this to a variable. So promote, and that'll be combo timer. Now the reason why you want it to promote it to a variable is because so when you set the timer again, you're not going to get two different timers. You'll get the same timer being reset. So if you don't do that, you're going to get two different timers kicking off this thing. So yeah, make sure you do set it. And on combo finished here, we'll just say, we'll just do an event dispatch on here saying on combo complete. And this is going to output the integer combo count of how many you've got. So just do call and then plug in combo. And then you do any point stuff here, UI, whatever you want to do, you do here. I'm just going to reset it back down to 0 so I can do it again. Right. Okay, so that's the gist of it. So we're going to kill an enemy. We're going to increase the combo counter, start a timer, and then when the timer's finished, we're going to sum up what we've got as a combo, do the points, whatever it is there, like so. So you might probably want to represent this visually as well on the UI. So we'll make a simple UI for this. And we'll do combo UI. And we'll do a very simple one. I'm not going to do anything fancy. And in here, text. And we'll do this top center. And we'll down there. Sure. And with that text here as combo count. And also I'm going to have a bar on there. So the bar's going to be my timer I want it to be. So I'm actually going to wrap this with a vertical box. And in there I'm going to put in the progress bar. So those little bar underneath it will increase. Now the number here is going to be fairly small in like size. So I'm going to go to the vertical box here and just untick size of content and just manually set the size here. So size will do 300. Sure. And size will do 150. Let's do 100. There you go. And the text here will make center aligned. So go down here, center. Cool. For the progress bar, we do combo timer. Like so. And go to the graph. Okay, so we want to show this on the screen. When we do, we need to send over what is the game mode we want to have on this. So the game mode we'll put in here. And that'd be a copy of the third person game mode. In this case. But I want to make that editable and exposed on spawn. And on the construct, we're going to drag out that game mode. And I'm going to get the combo from it. I need to get a combo, count combo. That would be the combo count. And we're going to do in here set text. Like so. And then the timer, I'm going to drag out the timer bar and do set percent. And the percentage of this is going to be the timer that we get from here. So get combo timer. And we need to get the time remaining, the elapsed time, and we also need to normalize by to range. So the way we turn timers into a normalized value, which is between 0 and 1, so 0 time is up, 1 time is full. Normalize to range, you can put the value as the time remaining. And the range max, you can put this plus or add the elapsed. That means the total time. And then that goes into your percentage. So that's going to set it right at the start when it first gets going. But we want it to obviously update and keep track of that the whole time. So we're going to need to do that on a tick as well. So on tick, actually we'll just do the whole thing on tick there. Game mode. down here. We'll put down the tick. Because it has to be updated all the time, so yeah, need a tick. And then we want to also bind it. So on the construct here, you're going to take it to game mode. And do bind event to combo, not combo complete. Yeah, I guess combo complete. Yeah, there we go. And then go on here, custom event. And do on combo complete. And we'll just tell it to delay and then remove from parent. So delay by, I don't know, 3 seconds. And then remove from parent. So that will bring up the combo counter like so. When we do update it, we need to tell the combo current combo to update itself as well. So we're going to make another custom event in here. Be on combo. And we'll set it just to update the combo. Like so. So if we were to get another combo whilst it's running, it'll update. Okay, so compile and save that. Then I'm going to go back to my game mode. So when I kill an enemy, I need to create a widget. And we're going to create our combo UI. Game mode, I'm put in self. And then return value, I'm going to promote to variable. Combo UI. And then add that to viewport. Now we don't want it to add it every single time. I only want to add it once at the start and then update that one each time. So before we do that, drag out the variable we just promoted, convert it to a validated get, and plug it in. So if it's not valid, you're going to create a new one, what we just did here. If it is valid, we're just going to take out the reference to it and then do it on combo. Now just take it to refresh the data to show a new combo. Okay. I think that's it. Maybe forgetting something, but we'll try that out. We just need. Oh yeah, we need to work the enemy killed in. So if I go to my enemies, enemy field, I'll destroy actor here. I'll just do end play. So end play fires when an actor is destroyed or removed from play. Actually, yeah, we'll do end play here. We'll do equals destroyed, and then we'll get game mode, cast to third person game mode, and do on enemy killed. Okay, and I think that'll do it. Not made a combo meter before, so let's see this in action. One. It's too quick. Hold on. Let's go back to the game mode and change that timer. In 1 second, we'll change that to 3 seconds. Right, do that again. 1, 2, 3. And it resets the timer each time. And when it finishes, it'll wait 3 seconds and then disappear. Okay. And there is a combo meter. So what you do with that actual combo is up to you. Depends on what you're doing for your game. Points or damage. I have no idea. So have a crack at that. You might see some result from that there. Hopefully that helps you out, TJ. Rusty, have you played Meet Your Maker during open beta? If so, did you see anything interesting that you could apply in a teaching course? Meet Your Maker? What the hell is Meet Your Maker? Never heard of it. What is it? Building a raiding game at every level designed by players. Oh, alright. Oh, did I see a trailer for this? Oh, I think I saw a trailer for this. Yeah. Alright. So no, I haven't played it. But maybe if I play it, there might be something interesting to take into a teaching thing. Maybe. Big butt guy, are you going to be going over building, crafting, and survival series? I already had it crafting sim because most of the resources were already there, but I don't know where to start with building. Yes, yeah. It's going to have things like that in there. Very much like Rust or Ark type game. You're welcome, Ashley. If looking to create a 3D space game where you can travel from planet to planet, large distances, how would you make the environment with planets without killing the machine's resources? So a game like, if you're thinking about No Man's Sky, the way No Man's Sky do it is it's procedurally generated. So you get each planet is being made as you're flying over it and doing things with it. That's the way they're doing it. Obviously, it's a lot of complicated stuff to get it to exact standard of what they've got. There's a lot of work goes into that, but that is how it, performance-wise, is handling those sort of things. So they're not pre-made things. If you are trying to make a pre-made thing, then you gonna have to have load screens. This is why Starfield is got load screens when you travel from space to planet, which they meant. I think they revealed like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Sadie, when's the next video on Fireteam? Apologies, I keep meaning to get the recordings of those up to date. As soon as I'm able to. It's been so manically busy. I can only apologise for getting that done. But I'm not stopping it. It's just been a mad old time. Hope I'm doing well. I'm okay. I'm very tired, but I'm okay. You're welcome, TJ. It's a game by guys who Dead by Daylight made it on Unreal. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I saw a trailer for it. I mean, yeah. I mean, the problem with those games is that they live and die by the community. Like, if it's not there, then the game's unplayable because it's all made by players. So we'll see. So it's good that they've done it with some pedigree. If they come from Dead by Daylight, that means they've got a following of some kind. So yeah. Next question. How do you lock screen resolution full screen for players so they can't freely resize the window? I believe it's in the project settings. You go in there. Yeah, there you go. Allow window resize. You just turn it off. Racing Denmark. Are you going to continue the inventory system with other kinds of systems like shops or random loot tables? Somewhat. So the survival series carries on from the inventory series. So that is an extension of that, and basically that's what we're doing, is basically making an evergreen type thing, hopefully, where we're showing a system that could be separate, but we are making use of that inventory system. So we'd have to make it again, because the problem with the survival series, that's why I restarted the survival series, was because I was just making the same thing again. I was going, okay, we're making another inventory system because survival games have inventory systems, so kind of made no sense to do that. So I started again with, okay, let's do one series about one system and extend onto that with another system. So yeah, later on we'll be adding like a shop system type thing, enemy loot type thing. But if you the thing with all these systems and all these videos, like hopefully you can watch like the old Shopkeeper series I've done, see how I done it there, and you should be able to figure out, okay, well, inventory, a Shopkeeper system is much like an inventory system with a few extra bits onto it. So you could try and do it yourself. It's not too difficult. Once you get understanding of what that is, you can start experimenting with your own solutions. At the moment, I'm actually started writing a new course, or like Udemy type course, which is going to go over mechanical design. So basically doing what I do on these live streams, where I come up with solutions off the cuff. I can think of ways to solve problems straight off the bat. Like, for example, a combo system. Never made a combo system before, never had to. So what does my brain do to get to that process? So I'm going to try and start thinking like a game designer, game developer. So I'm trying to put that onto paper so I can make it into a video and release as like a Udemy course, which is all about basically thinking like a game designer and trying to create your own solutions to problems. So you don't have to rely on videos all the time, because I don't use any videos for my games I'm making. I just make it up as I go along, because I know how the engine works, I know how coding works. So the course is designed about teaching those fundamentals about how those things work, so that you can as well make your own solutions. So it's in the works. I have no idea when that'll be done. It's just something I'm trying to do on my in my whatever spare time I can find, help people out with game design and how to think about that sort of thing. Rusty, jumping on the space question earlier, how difficult is it to make different gravity points like in Mario Galaxy? So it's somewhat difficult. I think I touched upon this answer one time before, recently, and basically what you have to do is you have to make your own character movement component. So you can't rely on using this character movement component. You have to make your own character movement system with its own gravity system and so forth. So you're gonna have to, you got a lot of work to make sure that your player can run around and things like that. Once you've got that, it's relatively not that difficult. So the way Mario Galaxy does it is so like I'll just use one of these. I'll change this to a sphere. A sphere collision. So they use volumes like this, okay? And when you're on the planet, okay, so let's say the planet's inside of that. Hang on, let's just drag in a sphere. Sphere. So when you're on a planetoid like this, what it does, because the planetoid is going to stop you from falling, okay? Because that's what the gravity is going to do to you. So when you're inside that volume, it's going to apply gravity from your position towards the center of the volume. That's all it's doing. So when you jump, it just pulls you back down to that direction. So it's not too bad. It's just you have to make the cat movement component first, which involves quite a lot of work depending on what kind of movement you want in your game. But something like Mario has lots of movement stuff in it, so it's quite difficult. It's quite a lot to do. But this is also one solution they had to come up with in Mario. Is the problem with it is orientating also the capsule. So the way they solved that with Mario is he does not have a capsule shape for his collision. His collisions are a spherical shape. So when he lands on a thing, they're just rotating the mesh inside to match whatever platform he's on. So the sphere, you don't have to worry about orientating that at all. So it makes it pretty simple. That's the hard part you have with a capsule, is also orientating that whichever way you want it to. So it'll look a bit janky. So that's what they do. They have his collision spherical, so you can spin him around in the middle of it, whichever direction you want. And that's why in Mario Galaxy, if you look, he's actually a stubbier Mario model compared to, say, Sunshine, where it's a little bit longer. And they've kind of stuck with that same model now ever since, really. They kind of just stuck. So yeah, that's how and why that works. Yeah, maybe one day when I feel up to it, I'll make a custom character movement thing. But a lot of work. We'll see. No problem, Rusty. Yeah, Envy. Yeah, a weighted loot table system is what I would do exactly the same thing again. Yeah. Victor NR, hello Ryan, could you explain some use of data assets? I actually got a video of that coming out tomorrow morning for Patreon members. But long story short, you make a data table. Hopefully you're familiar with data tables. Yeah. So each row of data table's got a row of data. A data asset is each one of those rows in her own asset. So the purpose of it is to basically, and it's another way of storing data. You can't write to them, but another thing you can do with them is have functions on them. So if you need to adjust values on them because of certain inputs, you can do, and you get that information out. So they're quite flexible in that regard. It's just a different way of organizing data, basically, which has different pros and cons. So data table, the con of a data table is if you have too many things in your data table, whenever you search for something, the way it does it, it has to go from the list all the way down. So it just goes down each row until it finds the one you're talking about. So if you've got a lot in there, it's not the most efficient. Data assets are a lot more efficient when you've got lots of them, because they are stored in memory like anything else. So because they're individual assets, you can just call them up just like any other individual asset. A pointer reference, that's all. Metshish, how can you make a free flow combat system like in the Batman Arkham series? Oh, gold. With lots of animation. I haven't made one before, so I can't say for certain. So I'm just going by what I've seen and experienced. Is that it's just a lot of animation based stuff. And I'm guessing by free flow, there's a lot of like blending between poses to get those sort of hits in, I guess. I don't know for certain. I'll have to try and make one myself one day to really understand it properly. But I would start off with just a crap ton of animations, really. Envy, I'm having trouble creating a nice, smooth head bob tilt movement system when moving. How do you go about doing something like this in a first-person game? Sure. Let me just make a very simple first-person character. Oh, hold on. Character. And we'll just go into here, add a camera. And we'll take to use pawn control rotation. And I'll just take these inputs from here. They're going to be the same, I think. Copy those and file save. Right, let's just test that out, make sure that actually works. Let me just go change this to a first person character. Hit play. Okay, first person character. Right, so add a head bob to this. So what you need to have is a camera shake. So if you go to your blueprint class, I think it's this one. Camera shake. Yeah, camera shake base. Click on that. Click select and head bob. And it's there. Okay, so with this thing, you've got a root shake pattern. You click on this, and you've got a few options you can do. Composite, which is a combination of these other three. Perler noise, which is completely random, so that's how you do like vibration type ones. Sequence camera shake, so you can define how it goes. But we'll do a very simple one of using a wave oscillator, which uses like a sine wave or stuff like that to make it go up and down, up and down. Head bobbing makes sense for that. So in here you define how it's going to bob with a location or rotation or whatever you want. So by default it looks like it's going to locate in all directions with all of them. So I don't want all of them, I just want let's just do rotation. So if I do location and turn that down to 0, 0, we'll just do rotation, amplitude 1, and we'll just do the pitch. Okay, so turn yaw and roll off to 0, 0, 0. Okay, so initial offset type, we'll set that to 0. Amplitude 1, frequency 1, and then you can scale these however you want. So using this rotational frequency here. So if I were to go rotation frequency, no, amplitude, we'll do amplitude. We'll say, I don't know, It's going to take guesswork until we get something right. Let's try 5. Timing, 1 second. Yeah, okay, we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so when you've got designed your head bob, you go to your player character, and as you're walking, which is this one, the move, you want to check that this input is when we do move forward, which is this one. If this is not equal to 0, you want to apply the camera shake. So to do that, I've forgotten. So let me just figure that out again. Camera shake. Play wild camera shake. Choose head bob. Epicenter be get actor location. And that'll be the camera. Get player camera manager. I don't want world, do we? Want local. Camera shake. Which one was it? Do I actually have to use a camera? No, maybe it's the camera manager. Yeah, there you go. So do start camera shake. Do that, and we'll do head bob. Play space camera local. Yep. False. We'll take to stop camera shake. And we'll just, you need an instance for this, so you just need to do this. Shake. What it? I don't know. And you can plug that in. So let's see if that's enough for that. Well, too much. Right, let's change that back down to 1. I'm just walking forward, so I'm not touching the mouse. So it's a bit extreme. Might have to turn it down a bit. But yeah, there you go. So if I change that amplitude down to like 0.2. Yeah, but it's all just like tweaking those numbers to get what you want. You can see that's looking too bad. You can adjust the timings, adjust the amplitude, the frequency, all those things you can adjust based upon your liking. So tweak these to get something that you like. But that is a way of doing a simple head shake bob thing. Now, if you wanted to, you can combine that into all this stuff here into a component. If you want to help make your life a little bit easier, I just click on all this. I can just cut all that out, and we'll make a component. Add to component. Head bob component, and we'll delete this, put that down here, and this is going to be untick. We want to get attach, not attach, get parent actor, or get owner. Yep, and get the velocity of that one. Get velocity. Vector length, and chuck that into there, and tick will go into that. Now the only reason why we want to do this is if our shake here is not valid, so just promote that to a variable. So you're not ticking all the time. So get shake, convert valid is shake, plug that in. It's not valid, go into there. And if we get to here and it forces stop shake here, we can clear the shake variable. Okay, so now I can just go back to my player character, and I should be able to go head bob. And that's it. And now I can apply that nice and easily to my game. You've got a little head bob in there. So I might want to turn it up now. I think it was getting, I had it on tick, so it was just doing it way too much, but now, there we go. Although it seems I've only done it once. Should be able to, should be looping. Duration. If I set this to 0, yeah, 0. That should make it infinite. There we go. Okay, head bob. And you do other things like only make it head bob as well when you're on the floor. So if you're falling, it doesn't actually do it as well. Whatever condition you want. We've got a nice little head bob in there. And if you want it more frequent, you just change the frequency here. And if you wanted to, you can match that to the frequency that the player's running at too. So you can go to functions here and do get speed, I guess, I don't know. And you should be able to get these values here. So you get the root shake pattern. And we do frequency. No. Get, what do we have to do here? Hang on, no. Always look at these. So if it's root shape pattern, great. Location, rotation, FOV time. So rotation? No, I probably have to pick the wave oscillator pattern, don't I? Wave, no. What do I have to do in here? What is this value here? Camera shake pattern object. Pattern. No. Maybe you can't do that then. No, wait, okay, so you can make 2 of these and make it do 1 for running, 1 for walking. You can probably extend it as well if you wanted to get into the programming side of it. But there you go. You've got plenty of things to mess about with. One simple head bob component. Anyway, next question. Tanner, should I learn Blueprint or C++ in Unreal? If you know the programming, learn Blueprint first. Official Paper Planes game. Hi Ryan, I'm currently working on a flying AI that uses patrol spline that will follow an attack with pawn sensing, then return to spline when no longer sensing the target is killed. How would you do that? So at the moment when they leave the spline point, you want to store the location or the transform of that position. And when you want to return to that position, you just tell them to go, like, AI move to that position. I'm not going to set it up now because there's way too much time to do that. But yeah, so hopefully this makes sense to you. When the pawn sensor is determined that they're going to need to chase something, before they go off, they basically store the value where they got lured away. And then when they go back to that spline point, you can actually get the point from the spline closest to that area. So, for example, let me add a spline component here so I can see what I mean. So there's the spline. You've got a spline component. So here you can get nearest. No, what is it called? Closest? No, what is it called? Near. I swear it was nearest. Location. Hang on. Yeah, closest. So find closest location closest to world location. So you put that in. Put in the world location that you stored when they got dragged away, and this returns the coordinate of the point on the spline. So then you can go from that and work out where they have to go to next. And if you want to work out where that is in position, if you're doing a timeline based patrol, so they're going from 0 to 1, you want to work out what percentage of the path they're on. You can do that as well by getting that location in relation to the distance from the start. Not start, the distance. The distance along a spline. So go from here, type in distance. Get. I think it's distance. Hang on. Get location at distance along spline. We want the difference inverse of that. Get distance along spline at spline input point at spline point. No. Well, we could do that. You could just get the nearest point rather than distance location. I swear you could get. Spline. Get I'm guessing you'd have to. Well, I'll tell you what. When you store the location, also store the distance they had at that spline, and then you can tell them to get back at that distance and work out at the point between 0 and 1 where were they at, and just transfer over. Hopefully that helps. I say it's way too much work to do in the last 15 minutes of the show, so sorry about that. Mr. Tree Guy. Hi, Ryan Lady. I want to know, is it possible to have a neural network AI that learns from your actions over time? Because I know a UE game that said they would make it, but they didn't. I mean, possibly. I don't know. I've never made one, obviously. If it's anything that have to be aware of, I'm not too sure. I'm not a neural networks person, so I'm not too sure how data is stored or retained from neural networks. But that data that you want, I guess, persisting across instances of your game. So when it closes and opens again, you can keep that. But unfortunately, I can't really give much more advice because I've never made a neural network AI before, so I don't know for certain. Justin, speaking of data tables, I'm trying to understand how to store AI data, such as stats, transform, etc., that will save and load. We can do it with the player, but I can't get it to work with AI NPCs. So AI and all that stuff needs to be stored on a struct, and your struct is an array, or maps rather. A map would do just fine in your save file, and in the map you have as the value your actor reference to the AI you want in particular, and the value will be that struct. That's great to hear, JYL. Den Savin, hello Ryan. Question: if I stream in part of a level and move that part in any way, its nav mesh doesn't get moved. You're talking about in runtime. If it's talking about runtime, then yeah, the issue with that is that you need to make your nav mesh dynamic. So if you go into product settings and go down to navigational mesh, scroll down, and down here you'll see runtime generation. So the default is static, which means before the game is ran, it builds and store the nav mesh data on disk, basically. But if you're doing it to dynamic, like so, it's going to update it all the time in the game. Obviously, as you would imagine, dynamic is a little bit more costly than static. So bear that in mind when what you're doing. But that is what you're doing there. If you are moving around the landscape and you change the landscape in any kind of way, that'd be the way to do that. If you're just doing modifiers, you've also got the option to do dynamic modifiers only, which is again a lot, it's still a lot better than fully dynamic, but still costly compared to static. But yeah. Thank you, Justin. Fly Guy, I've got an easy one for you. Can you explain to me Cast 2? I tried for over a year and still haven't found a video that I can understand. It seems to be completely backwards of what it's called. Okay. Sure. I've done a video on it too, but I'll explain it again here. So, it's important to understand about Cast 2 as well, is that it's quite commonly misused. So casting, the whole point of casting is if you've got to reference something, which is one of these blue variables down here, that's a reference, a pointer. If a whole point of casting is to change that type of that reference to one of its children types. So every reference has a type, and that type, in this case, shake here is a camera shake base type. If I do get player character, this return value is of a character object type. Okay, so each one has a type, which is cool. But the problem with that is it's quite generic. Okay, we design the functions to be generic because we don't know what we want to do with them. So get player character will just get whatever character you're currently playing as. So it returns a character object, but not the specific one that of your type. Okay, so you're not going to get the third person character, for example. So casting is the act of changing that reference to a type that is a child of it. Now, it can only be successful if the type that you want to change it to is a child of that reference there. So, in other words, if I do character object here, I can do cast to third person character. What that's doing is it's taking this type and trying to change it over to a third person character type. So that's why you got this output here. And cast failed is there because not all the time you will have that come out as a success. So, for example, you can do if I do get parent, no, get owner. Okay. So this get owner here returns an actor object reference. I could plug that into there just fine. It will let me do that because my third person character is an actor, but it's specifically a character type. But if the owner, for example, is not a character or not related to my third person character whatsoever, this cast will fail. Okay, so if we ever need to get hold of specific functions or variables that belong to its child class, or we have a function that requires the child class, we need to cast to it to get there. Okay, so it's how we go from parent reference to a child reference. Hopefully that helps you understand it a bit better. So some tips there to avoid some issues you get with this is a common mistake people do is they'll do this: cast to third person character. They do that first. That's the wrong thing to do, because if you're doing that, you guarantee that your object pin is going to go wrong. And the most common question I see is people will do this. They'll go, what do I plug into object? That's because you're trying to put the horse before the cart. So what you need to do, or cart before the horse, I don't know. I don't know what saying is. So the problem is you don't do that first. The only reason you do casting is if you've got a reference already. So for example, get player character. I'm getting that, and I've got a reference. So like, aha, got a reference, but I need the child version of this reference. That's when you'll do a cast, and that's when you search for your cast node here. It's important to do that as well in that instance, because when you drag from here, if I do cast to, it will actually limit what I can actually cast this thing to as well. Okay, so I can't just cast to absolutely anything. It will limit what I can cast to. Whereas if I had an actor, I can cast to many classes. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if there's anything else you want clarification on, but that is what you're doing there. So yeah, just avoid doing it first. You're doing it after you've got the reference already and you want to change it down. Ashley, if I wanted to allow the user to bind any key to an action, what blueprint objects can be used to build the listening for key press feature? I mean, it depends what you're trying to do, but in 5.1 there is a way for the users to reconfigure their inputs in runtime. I don't know yet, I haven't played with it at all, but if you do it the old-fashioned way, you use any key like this, and let's say you have a boolean here, say like listening for new input. Okay, so I've clicked the UI and I've set this to true. So when I push any key next, I'm going to get a value out of it, and I want to say take the key here, get not get and then just set that to whatever key it is doing. Assigned key, we'll call it like this, and I could put that into true there. Okay, so and then you turn listening for input off like that. So that is how you can do that. Just make sure the assigned key is set up wherever you want it to be set up, but that's kind of helped there. Yeah. Evan Norton, can EQS be used for vertical movement or flying? Not really, because EQS projects downwards when I do the generation, so it will go down. There may be a way of doing it though. I did try to experiment with something like this before in the past, but I think I got stopped for doing something. I can't remember what it was now. But I did try experimenting with this. But honestly, the best way of doing flying AI is using what we call whiskers, which is when you do loads of line traces out at different directions, and you use those to determine how much to turn. Yeah, that is the most common way of doing flying or swimming AI. That's great to hear, Fly Guy. I'm glad that helped. So about streaming nav mesh, even if it's set to dynamic, it doesn't move. Whole level moves as it should, but nav mesh isn't moving. I mean, are you moving the nav mesh? You have to actually move it. You can't just move the level underneath it. Or can it even be moved? No, I can't remember. I've ever tried actually just moving it. I guess it would. I don't know. I've never actually tried moving the nav mesh, thinking about it. But yeah, it has to move with the thing as well. Or if it's large enough, at least to cover a large enough area wherever that movement's happening. If that's still not working, I don't know what the problem would be. I'd have to have a look at that, determine that one. Try hard games development. Can't really show you this one because it's going to take too long. But how do you go about making a group of pawns move in formation? So the way you do this in a lot of games, you have a leader. So in the pawns, in the AI, you have one that's designated leader, and the rest are followers. And the leader determines the formation, and then it takes all of its followers into an array, and it simply says this is array position 1, this is array position 2, this is array position 3, this is array position 4, and that's it. Navigation whole level contents are child of scene object and then I mean, are you not able to make the nav mesh just cover a large area? Maybe try that. I don't know. I'm not entirely certain. I have to have a look at it, try it, replicate it. Sounds like a unique problem. But anyway, that'll do for tonight. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us live tonight. There will be no live stream strictly per se this Saturday because I'm actually away on a short vacation. But I am planning to, hopefully, if I get time to, film and upload a Mimic episode live recording, so you can watch that as well on which it's what it would have been anyway. So a pre-recorded live stream coming out this Saturday instead. So thank you very much, everyone. If you want to support the channel and support me, head over to patreon.com/RyanLely, where just $1 a month gets you access to all of my videos early before everyone else, including live streams. I was a massive thank you to everyone who is supporting me over there. It really means everything to me, so thank you so much. And I wish you all the best, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye, everyone.